Right, hello there everyone, welcome back to Anfield Agenda, hosted by your boy James Redmond, joined by the one, the only, the legend, that is Paddy Murphy. Paddy, how are we, lad?
Top of the morning to you, James. I'm very
Top
good.
of the morning to you.
I'm very good. I have the United game on in the background here, waiting for Villarreal to pummel them, so I'm very excited for that.
Yes, just to confirm, Villarreal are playing Manchester United. It's an earlier kickoff on a Tuesday. Looking like that it's going to be a good game. Villarreal have already had a big chance in the game, so we're going to keep one eye on that, and hopefully Manchester United get absolutely spanked at the start of the Michael Carrick era. But we have got loads to delve into in this show. Before we get into it, though, be sure to smash a like as always. And if you don't know, the first show that we done was last week, weren't it, Paddy? Not the week before.
Last week, yeah.
Last week, that was the first show. It was a great show and we really thoroughly enjoyed it. We hope that you'd enjoyed this one too. And let's get right into it. We're already going to start off with the main boy, the one, the only, Sadio Mane. He wants to remain at Liverpool. Yes. Yeah, to absolutes, obviously, the standard saying and all that. So Sadio Mane wants to remain at Liverpool. Yes. And would like a salary that is reflective on his talent. And also the years that he's put into the club as well, so his service. So, Paddy, I'd like to start off this stream by asking you the question about Sadio Mane and sort of your stance. You know, do you think that... Because what I think is that he's going to be asking for around 200 grand a week, if I was to guess, because I'm not sure if he's going to be someone who's going to be wanting 250 grand. He just doesn't come across as that type of player for me. Therefore, I think to myself, do you know what? He's going to want to be compensated, but he's not going to be greedy. So what do you think?
Well, I mean, you know, I love Sadio Mane as much as the next man. I don't think I love him quite as much as you. I think you have a special affinity for him.
I don't think anyone does.
No, that's true. I think if you look at him in the squad, how important this Sadio Mane is here, I would say he's our fourth most important player. So therefore, should get wages based on that. I think you have to have Mohamed Salah ahead of him, you have to have Virgil ahead of him, you have to have Fabinho ahead of him, even, I would say. But no, he definitely deserves a increase. But it comes to a stage where, you know, the whole break the wage structure, you know, we talk about Mohamed Salah and you'd be willing to do it. Would the owners be willing to break the structure for Sadio Mane? I don't know. That's the problem we have. Do I think he's worked and has worked for the 200 grand a week? Absolutely. But the owners might not see it that way. But for me, yeah, absolutely. He's a very integral part of the squad and our system. But you do have to look at the years as well. But no, I think 200 grand would be fair enough. I think if he was going any more, I think he'd have to be, you know, doing a veto over that.
I suppose the next question that I want to follow up with, to play a little, and I hate to play devil's avocado, even though it's my favourite game, I hate to do it with Sadio Mane. He is, you know, if he's in, I think he's still in his prime, and some people might suggest that he's over the hill, but in my opinion, he's still in his prime. There's a penalty shout in the Manchester United game as we speak also. And for that reason, I believe he's still got more to offer at the club. But for those who don't believe that he's in his prime and he is on the other side of the hill, what's the point? Because he's in the final 18 months of his contract, what's the point of then extending that? When you really, really think about it, if he's not going to be better by then, what's the point in increasing his wages when the best is behind him? Because yes, it's good to accommodate these players and to compensate them for what they've achieved at the club. But at the same time, you've got to look at what's best for business and what's best for your team. Do you get what I'm saying? Would it be worth going ahead and paying that much more for someone who might not be as good then as he is now?
Usually yes, but if it wasn't for that scare last year with his form, I was really worried about how he was playing. I was like, wow. I think without that dip in form last year, I'd be all for this. I think the club would too. He had it maintained consistent. But I think we've seen a flash of the danger of him not being at his best. And, you know, when he's not at his best, you know, like anyone else, he stinks up the place. But this year, I think he's back to his best, you know, relatively. I think he's been quality. That's what you know, as you said, devil's avocado, it's a valid suggestion, you know. That's what the club will take into consideration. But I think, we've talked about it before, if we are to make a big signing, a big name signing, one of the big boys has to leave. And they might see it as an opportunity to, like, you know, if you told me, get rid of Sadio Mane for, I don't want to get rid of him, don't get me wrong, but if you're thinking of, get rid of Sadio Mane for whatever, how much would you get from? I don't know, 80, 90.
Well, that's the thing, with 18 months left on his contract and you don't renew
months,
it. Do you think it runs down? Do you think maybe... I don't see... Because I don't... Right now, if you'd asked me a year ago, I could see us getting 80 million for Mane. After last season, maybe 50, 60. If he's in the last year, you might as well just run it down to the final day. And this is why I'm thinking maybe you do just give Sadio Mane a new contract, because I still think he's going to be a good player by the time it'll be offered to him. You don't have to give him a super long contract. I believe he's only 29 or 30. You know, even a Mane at 33, I still think is a very sound player. He adds something to the squad. It's just, you know, do you want to go ahead and overpay for that? But I think Mane has a lot left in the tank. I believe he's still a great player right now. He's the joint second top goal scorer in the Premier League. He's still absolutely boss. And he's just something different. And I said to Craig yesterday on a show, I'd love someone like Rafinha. And I'm going to ask you who you would maybe prefer if Mane was to leave and what player you bring in. But the reason why I'd love Rafinha, and I know he's a right-hand side player, and he's not someone who's just on the... And Salah plays in that position. But I think it's great. Kind of like Shimikas and Robertson, which we touched on last week. Different players for different games and, you know, tactical battles and what you would need more if you're playing against a low block. Someone like Rafinha would be great against that. Mane, not as much, because even though he can beat a man, he's not someone who's going to dribble past 3 players, do a nutmeg, and then score. But Rafinha has got more likely of a chance to go ahead and do that. He's got more of a moments of brilliance S-type about him. So if you could go ahead and get someone like that and just remove them off the wages, do you think that's a possibility, Paddy? And also, to follow up that question, who would you replace Sadio Mane with if you could have the choice? Within realistic options, of course.
Yeah, obviously Rafinha is a baller, be all over that. But for me, the ideal Mane replacement is Jeremy Doku. A guy or a kid even that we were in for, and you know he turned us down because he felt he wasn't ready, I believe. But I think he plays so like Mane. Even in the little bits he had in the Euros, there he was quality. I just think he's the like for like replacement. He's so young, low risk, I would say, because I don't think he'd be mental money. You know, I don't want Mane to leave, but even bringing him in while Mane's there, let him learn again with Mane, and then as you said, have a Robertson / Costas thing where you have a very steady backup who can just come in whenever, you know. I think that. But another player I'd like, I know he's a right sider, but ahead of Rafinha, Federico Chiesa for me. I think he's different.
Oh, he's brilliant. He's brilliant, Paddy. He's a player that I'd love. If I could really have it my way, that's another player that I'd like to have at the club, because I think his style of play would suit Jurgen Klopp so much, and the type of person that he is would literally fit our club perfectly. I mean, a lot of people might just think he's a €1 wonder. No, he's been good for seasons for Fiorentina. He's gone to Juventus, a very depleted Juventus side, by the way, and done a phenomenal job. Therefore, I think he could be a good player for us. Well, the next thing that I'd like to talk about off the Sadio Mane news, and me and Paddy basically conclude that we hope he stays because he's boss. Do you know what? If he did leave, what much more has he got to achieve? He's won a Premier League, he's won a Champions League, he's had a great career, he'd be a certified legend. 100%. And going on from one certified legend to another in Divock Origi. Newcastle are considering Divock Origi as a potential option in January, with Eddie Howe is keen to recruit. He's tried and tested Premier League players in their fight to avoid relegation. Now they are in a battle, and regardless how good or bad you think Eddie Howe is, he needs to go ahead and he needs to get improvements on the squad. Divock Origi improves Newcastle United. Do I think he would join? I'll let you answer that question first, Paddy.
I think he would. I think he would, because you know he joins with the danger they could get relegated. But I think a move like that is perfect for him, because I think, listen, I love Origi, and we need him right now. I wouldn't want to get rid of him because we're very lacking in the forward depth. But him being the main man, starting every game, is what he needs to get into a rhythm, get flourishing, and get banging them goals in. I think he's probably too good for Newcastle. I think he could do a job for even higher up, like, you know. But I think it's a no-brainer for Newcastle. Get a few million for him. I don't want to sell him though, but I think he'd do wonders for them. And I do think he would leave.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I'll debate you first on whether I think he would leave, because I just get the weird vibes that Origi seems to be happy on the bench for Liverpool, and he's one of the very few players in world football that's happy to do such a role. He's getting paid, he's going to be playing in big nights, even if it's off the bench and he's getting a cameo, or if Salah's injured, God forbid, Mane's injured, he gets an appearance here and there. I just felt like he was a left by now because he's had chances to leave before, and then there's also the argument, well, I want to compete for my place. I want to earn my spot in the squad. He's now 26. That's looking bleaker and bleaker. But like you, I believe there's a good player there, and that's why I think it's madness that there was no one really in the summer too interested in Divock Origi. But this is the speciality of him finding a little bit of form again, because what if we keep him sound? We've got what looks to be a good enough option again for when Salah and Mane do go to the AFCON. But on top of that, if he does keep doing well, you can add a few more million to his value. And if Newcastle come in the summer, in January, then we know they've got a few million to spend, Paddy, so it could be something to think about.
Good show. You know, I see what you're saying. Like, of all players, Origi seems contented enough. But I just feel like any professional footballer wants to be playing every game, and if the offer comes, like, it depends. Like, the Origi at the start of the season was ready to get rid of. The club was like, you know, they were happy to let him leave. But now, given the lack of depth we have now, he has a more of a prominent role. So maybe now he's kind of contented. Like, I expect him to start tomorrow night. I expect him to bag. You know what I mean? I'd love to see him get a run of games. And you know what? Actually, now that I think of it, with AFCON, he will be playing a lot more. So maybe there's no point in him leaving. Maybe he's thinking, let's get one more season. Let's win another Champions League or a Premier League, and then I'll fuck off somewhere and go for a few quid as well. Because I reckon we could add a couple of million onto his price tag. So yeah, that's a good show.
It'd make no sense for him to leave, in my opinion. One, he'd be going to a team that's in a relegation battle and there's a very uncertain near future, and that's what Origi needs to think about, because he's not going to join Newcastle to be there for the rest of his career, is he? Let's be real. So I just think of it as he's probably going to want to remain at Liverpool for at least the rest of the season, try and win another trophy or two, and then if he's built up, like you said, he's going to be getting games in January. That's something that he would have always known, that if I do step up my game, and when Mane and Salah go, I can actually try and earn a place in this squad. We don't know how competitive he is in his brain. And then if it doesn't work out, and he's not a regular by the end of the season, which, I'll be honest, I don't think he will be, then there he can leave and Liverpool can get a good few million for him. But right now, in January, unless you're looking to bring in an Ivan Toney, or unless you're looking to bring in an Adeyemi, I just do not see why you'd let him go. He's someone who's reliable for goals. He's reliable in big moments. This season he's been in good form. If he was in shit form, say if he played against Norwich and AC Milan a few weeks back and these type of games and never done well, then I could kind of hear an argument, maybe try and replace him. But FSG are very unlikely to go ahead and spend in January, which we've already discussed. Also, will the player that we replace him with be guaranteed to be better than Divock Origi? Because I think we forget he's actually an alright striker. I've always suggested that if you give all of our players 100 chances, then Divock Origi scores the most. I think him and Salah are like neck and neck, but Origi is the best finisher for me. Even the finish against West Ham was insane. Go on, what was you going to say?
No, but I think you said it on the show before. It's like, oh my God, I've completely forgotten this. I've actually completely forgotten what I was going to say.
Brain fart.
Yeah, completely gone. Fuck's sake.
Nah, listen, lad, I do that on a daily basis. Are you crazy? I've got like a goldfish brain. It always happens. It's the worst when it happens on a show as well. People, be sure to smash a like on the channel, and subscribe to the channel. Smash a like on the video and all that good business. And let us know what you think about Divock Origi and his stance at the club, because I know that it's very mixed. It's a very mixed sort of signal. Like, some people say, no, he's a legend. He's still got it in the tank. And then you've got some people who just think he's lazy. But I don't agree with that notion, because the type of player that Origi is, he's not someone who's going to be high-pressing all game, no matter how much you want him to be. He does need a bit of service. But one thing I've noticed is our service is very, very good with the likes of Trent, Robbo, Shimaka's, even the wingers as well. But if you give him a run of games, you've got a good player there. So I would never write off Origi pushing the front three for a place in the squad, pushing Diogo Jota to the left and using him in the middle a little bit more often. Again, styles make games, like styles make fights, and in this case, I think Origi would be a great option for a lot of the smaller sides. So we'll leave that to you in the comments. Yeah, he's a great plan B. He's a great plan B.
He doesn't necessarily suit the traditional style we have with, the Firmino or the Jota creating the space for the Mane and the Salah. But he's a great option, and you brought Mane against that West Ham game. While I was cursing the fact that we had to bring Origi on, he did go and score a worldly, you could say. And yeah, he's a saucy, but he's saucy as well. He's a good drip.
Yeah.
Shout out to him.
Yeah. Someone's just said I would easily take Dybala. The thing is, we're not going to be able to replace Origi with Dybala. I'm dead sorry, because that would be great. I wouldn't mind Dybala.
I'd take
someone of that
Megan Fox
esque.
as well, yeah.
Oh, tell me about it. You know what I mean? Like, tell me about it in my dreams and in real life. Lionel Messi has been coming out and speaking about the pool, you know, Paddy. He's been coming out and speaking about the pool. So, he has claimed that Liverpool can win the Champions League. Tell me something that I don't know, Lionel. This is the quote. Today, Liverpool is very well. It has returned to being the Liverpool that won the Champions League. So that's like sort of indicating, you know what, they've got a big shout again. Because Lionel Messi knows firsthand the slapping that Liverpool or this Liverpool can give him. That was a difficult night for Lionel Messi, and for sure probably one of the worst nights of his career. So for him to give us the respect like that, I feel like that was earned on that night. Otherwise, he probably wouldn't really even think about it. That night in Anfield, not to mention Divock Origi and the presence that he had in that game. No Mohamed Salah, no Bobby Firmino, and we still go out and put on that performance. Do you believe that this Liverpool squad is as good? Because one thing I think or notice about the greatest teams to ever grace the Premier League, Paddy, is that, they can be very, very good. You see Man United be on top of their game for however many years, but they still made changes. Chelsea, every period that they've been successful, when they won the league with Conte, Mourinho the first time and second time, they still had to make changes during that transition. Liverpool has not been a club of recent history to have made a lot of changes. Therefore, when we got 97 points and a Champions League final, then we got 99 points. Are we the same team as we was then? Or do you see differences?
I do see differences, but I don't think we are as good as we were. Purely for the simple fact, this team isn't going to hit 99 points again. That's a testament to how good that was, to be fair. But, listen, we're still very good. But I think this Liverpool team, as always, is more suited to a Champions League style than a Premier League style, which is why I think Chelsea are going to win the league. And I do honestly, as a Liverpool fan, I will always believe Liverpool can win the Champions League because they've won it 6 times. Sorry, 7 will be in May. And it's just like they've always performed in Europe under Klopp, bar that freak accident against Atletico Madrid down to number 13. We won't dare say his name. But, I think we perform well. I don't see many teams that can beat Liverpool. They can give them a good game, but I think we can beat any team in world football, especially over 2 legs. And then when it comes to a final knockout, what teams could you say in the world would beat Liverpool? Like, who would you bet on beating Liverpool? I wouldn't trust my money with anyone but Liverpool. You know what I'm saying?
I think the toughest game in Europe, if I had to say one right now, I think Bayern Munich can always give you the game, but I don't think they are as good now than what they was the season we won the league and they beat PSG in the Champions League final. And then I'd only suggest maybe Chelsea. Yeah, and Chelsea, City, of course.
I'm hoping Chelsea. I think we can avoid Chelsea, though. I feel like I agree with what you're saying. Just down to their system. It's just a ratty system, isn't it? 27 defenders and 3,000 centre defensive midfielders. Like, it's a pain in me fucking bollocks.
3,000 defensive midfielders.
They're a pain in me bollocks. Like, and Chelsea fans, absolutely, they're the biggest shower on social media. Like, they love themselves. And you know what, Chelsea fans in general, like, fucking hell, need I say more? But let's hope we avoid them. But I think they're going to focus on the league, and I'll let them have the league. Listen, we'll come back for the league next year. Or, you know what, winning the league in Klopp's last season, and then win the Champions League this year.
And then put that all over my chips, baby.
Going back to back. Stevie G comes in, takes over Klopp's squad, and he just walks the league. Oh, mate.
And then he wins it at Stamford Bridge. He wins it at Stamford Bridge.
He gets the Premier League trophy, and he just, mate. The picture of Steven Gerrard with the Premier League trophy, I think. I would never need certain websites ever again. That would be good enough forever.
Yeah, if he does then say goodbye to that Steven Gerrard chant about him slipping on his ass. That's for damn sure. 2024 is the year that it happens. 2024. No, that'd be great. Do you know one thing I will say about Chelsea, and then we'll get into the next topic, is that I do think they're not given as much credit as maybe they deserve, because they're the second highest scoring team in the league, and they've conceded 4 goals. That's boss. Yeah. That's so boss. And they've got a proper system. The fullbacks are basically wingers. Reece James has got 4 goals and 4 assists. Not as good as Trent, but still very, very good return.
But not,
Yeah, he's Trent Bitek for sure, but he's still a great player. Ben Chilwell, he's been great for them this season. Then even the attackers have been doing a good job, and that's without Lukaku. So I do rate Chelsea, and I do think they're a difficult opposition, but I also think there's a lot of substance to what Messi's saying. I think if there's the two-leg of football that we've notoriously been known for. The fact, God forbid we don't have as many injuries by then. We can beat anyone over two legs. It's because you said we couldn't beat anyone on any given day. But I believe if we draw against Chelsea in the first leg, there's a huge chance that we can come back in the second, especially if that second is at Anfield. Because if there's any night that... Because Arsenal fans can say what they want about the atmosphere, but if there's any guaranteed night where from minute 1 to minute 90... that is the Champions League nights are the ones that will bring the atmosphere throughout those 90 minutes, and they do not need riling up by a fight between the managers. They're just up for it naturally.
Can you imagine a Champions League semi-final at Anfield against Chelsea? I think that would actually. I don't think you'd ever eclipse the Barca, but fucking hell. That would be... And don't forget, away goals are gone, and that suits Liverpool more than anything because there's no home stadium or fortress like Anfield. There's no 100%. Stadium in Europe, in the world, in the Champions League that creates a better atmosphere on Champions League nights than Anfield. And people like to chat shit about that atmosphere when they've never even been there. I remember it was 12 o'clock against Burnley, and it was like, oh, Jesus, why aren't they singing the whole fucking game? Because they're still half asleep, you fucking donkeys.
Listen, I'm not being funny or not, and sometimes you need something to rile you up in the game, and that's the point that Liverpool fans like to make. When we're up for it, there's no fan base like us, and there's no team in the Premier League who react to their fans like the way we do, and that's always been the case. That's been through multiple different teams. It's not just a coincidence that we're so dominant at home, and always have been, by the way. So I just think, why are we going to waste our vocal cords, our precious fucking Adam's apples, on your ass when you're just putting 10 men behind the ball? No, we're going to save it for the Barcelona when we need to come back from a 3-0 down. No, we're going to save it for when we get that first goal and we start seeing some proper football, and then we'll start getting riled up. You do your job and we'll do ours. How about that? You know what I mean?
Well said, Hammers. Well said.
Even when the Arsenal fans did say that, don't worry, we can't. They were like, "Where's your famous? Where's your famous? Where's your famous atmosphere?" And then we just said, "Where's your European cups?" So it was just the most easiest comeback ever.
Yeah, Arsenal and Spurs fans don't chat, man. Jesus Christ.
Don't chat one single bit. 4-0. Just remember. 4-0. Anyway, so the pre-Porto press conference. I know I said that friggin' mad, didn't I? The pre-Porto press conference. That was like too much peas. So there was Thiago on rumours to a potential return to Barcelona. And he was talking about that, and this is what he said. He said, "I am focused on my duties for this team. I have a new adventure in the Premier League, and I'm trying to win as much as I can. 100% I made the right choice and the right move," because he was asked whether joining Liverpool was actually the best move for his career. I'll start off on this one, Paddy, and I'll let you tag on. I think Thiago has been unfairly criticised in his opening spell at Liverpool. I think it's been, header from Ronaldo, and it's not gone. It's straight at the keeper. Yet I think Thiago's been way unfairly criticised in his early days at Liverpool. I think he's had way more good games than bad games. You see the stats when him and Fabinho start. I think it's 12 games, 11 wins, 1 draw. That's a joke. Arsenal, you saw how good he was. He was pulling strings. Leeds is another game that stands out this season where he played very, very well. Just because he's not playing through injury does not mean he's been a flop. And these links to Barcelona and stuff were just... It was 2 + 2 and let's try and equal 4 because Xavi's gone there. Thiago was there when Xavi was last there. They've just brought back Dani Alves. Everything just made sense to link someone. Fucking hell, Messi and Iniesta have been linked back to Barca. I'm not being funny. There'd be no sense in him joining. There's no truth to the rumour. And Thiago would just laughed it off, and rightly so, because he still has got a lot to prove, in my opinion, Paddy.
Oh, absolutely, man. He's still a world-class midfielder. It was so funny when he was playing for Bayern, all the United fans, blah, blah, blah. They actually wanted to sign him. Oh, he was world-class. As soon as he signed as a Liverpool player, straight away it's like, oh, he's a floppy shit, blah, blah, blah. Thiago is an absolute unbelievable footballer. Unfortunately, he hasn't really been able to show up properly due to injuries and due to other variable conditions. Don't forget, he had to play his first season in that joke of a season last season when there was no fans, no stadiums. No stadiums, yeah, good man. But you know what I'm saying? Like, he will come good, and he strikes. He's a guy who is not gonna go back to Barcelona having not won at Liverpool. He has won everywhere he's been, and he will not leave Liverpool until he leaves with a major honour. And he's gonna get a major honour, whether he plays a big part. If he's fit, he will, because he's one of our best midfielders. So let's hope he can stay fit. And it's been unfortunate, but he's still shown his flashes of brilliance. And I think, what is it now? 10 games him and Fabinho played together, and we've won 9.
12 games and 11 win,
11,
1 draw.
Yeah. There you go. So that duo, exceptional, and I love it. I love the both of them.
I think we're a much better squad for having Thiago in it. Again, he's a completely different player to every other midfielder we possess. Who can pull the strings like Thiago can?
Exactly.
All these people. Sorry to interrupt you, Paddy, but you know all these people who talk about Trent going into the midfield? Why put Trent in the midfield when he's doing so great at right back, and you have got Thiago with the passing ability of fucking Trent Alexander-Arnold? You don't need 2 of them.
No, and plus don't get me wrong. At the start, being naive, I was like, "Oh, Trent in midfield would be unreal," but it's a different ball game. When Trent's at right back, he has the whole game ahead of him. He can dictate it. When you're in the midfield, it's a totally different ball game. Anyone who's played football will tell you. I haven't. I'm just saying they would. That's where I've heard it. It's a totally different ball game in the centre midfield compared to the right back. Now, I have played football on 5-a-side and a 5-a-side maestro, but who needs Trent in midfield when you have Thiago? Leave Trent where he is, dictating the play. But Thiago, as you said, we are a so much better team when he's in the midfield. It's not even funny.
No doubt. And when class meets class, they're the results that you get with the likes of Fabinho and Thiago. So no, I would not like to see him go anywhere anytime soon. If you offered me Frankie de Jong for Thiago, then I'm going to take it. He's younger. He's still got very similar attributes. He's still very high level. But that's not going to happen. So let's keep... And people forget... This is one of the elite midfielders of Wales football, not one of the best. That one of the elite midfielders. He's not world class. He's elite, and he's been doing the damn thing. And there's a reason why he played for Bayern. There's a reason why he played for Barca, and he would have got more of an involvement at Barca if there was no Iniesta and Xavi. So I don't like the way that people are talking about him as if he's friggin' Fred, because he's not Fred and he's not Naby Keita. He's still got time to learn.
Not to mention the saga that it took to sign him. We're not just going to throw him away after a season and a bit. It was a fucking... Went all summer nearly to sign him. I remember the moment we signed him was announced, I was fucking buzzing. And if it wasn't for injuries, he would have played every single fucking game. And, in an ideal world, he would have came last year.
He was coming in to replace Genie.
Exactly.
He was coming in to replace Genie Wijnaldum, and I said we shouldn't sold Genie, but because he's a great squad option and let them compete for each other. But Thiago was that was what Jurgen Klopp seemed like he wanted to do. First it was Naby, didn't quite work out, and then it was Thiago. So I think Thiago has a future at Liverpool and a bright one.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well said, sir. Well said.
Some more news on the Porto game tomorrow. So Klopp says that Henderson and Robbo are going to be okay, but are they ready to start this one? We still have to make those decisions. So I believe that they will be available, because I've heard that they've been in training and stuff like that. If they are available, then they're 2 players that I'd start, Paddy, because at the end of the day, I want to make a lot of changes in this game. But you still want to have a few familiar faces. The best of both worlds is these 2 familiar faces. And plus Henderson came on against Arsenal, so you'd assume that he'd be ready to play at least 60, 70 minutes in this one. So I just think to myself, Henderson, Robertson, and then maybe one of either Mane or Salah, and then the rest can be the rotation, because we don't need to win this game. We've topped the group, Paddy.
No. I actually think he'll stick with Costas for this game.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Do you think that's maybe because he's not going to start him on the weekend?
Possibly, but I think that would be Klopp's ideology. But even without that, I think it's no harm in giving Costas another game. He's been star of the game to be honest. So I think a bit of running the team even more, it just gets him more embedded. He just gets him sharper. I don't think there's any harm in it. But then again, I just get flashbacks of last year, Jota against Midtjylland. He got injured in a game where he didn't need to play, so I'm worried about that. So I want to see as much second squad players as we can. Cheeky bit of Tyler Morton starting if he's registered. I believe you don't have to register academy players. So I'd love to see that. Because we don't need to win it. And to be honest with you, if we lose this game, fuck it. Atletico Madrid go into the Europa League. You know what I mean? So I don't want us to lose, but it would. If you're going to lose a game, it fucks over Atletico.
I want to see Tyler Mortons of this world. I want to see Divock Origi. I want to see the Japanese Messi and Minamino. I want to see all these players starting this game, really giving it a proper go, really fighting for it and proving, do you know what, I deserve to have a place in this squad. Like the way Harvey Elliott did, really grabbed the opportunity by the fucking bollocks. Shout out to Manscaped, and then really took the opportunity. Also, Tyler Morton, I've loved the performances he's put in. Now it's time to do it on a big stage. Like last season, do you remember when Nico Williams assisted Curtis Jones, I think it was? I think it was Nico Williams who assisted Curtis Jones against Atlanta, That was a beautiful moment. Kelleher had a great game that day. These are the games that you really need to get up for. The Irish Iker Casillas, Paddy! Up the fucking Irish! You know what I'm saying? I want to see these players play.
Unfortunately, because, Gavin Bazunu is a better keeper. Poor Queeveen.
But he's still the Irish Iker Casillas.
Yes, he is. He's
a
beautiful man.
And I don't know the fella you've just mentioned, but Kelleher's better.
Oh,
I don't care.
He's actually not. But do you know why?
I'm not listening. La 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 la. Kelleher is clear. My G.
I love Queeveen, but Gavin Bazunu follows me, so I have to have some loyalty to Gavin. So until Queeveen follows me, we'll have, you know what I mean? So Queeveen, come on.
Shout out to my man. Shout out to my man. Oh my God, happy birthday today in Kelleher. Apparently it's his birthday today. What age does that make him, chat? I'd love for you to let me know. Also, 21. Hey, listen, still young. You never know, Paddy, but he could become world class. I want to ask the chat a question. Because you brought up that you think Tsimikas is going to play over Robbo. Someone in the chat said they would. And have you got 5 more minutes, by the way, Paddy?
30. Sorry, we'll have to cut it off.
How dare you? How dare you?
I think we can manage another 5, all right.
Thank you for giving me your time, Paddy. It's really appreciated. So I want to ask the chat, because we were talking about Tsimikas and Robbo. Who would you start in this game against Porto? I said Robbo, based on the logic that I want to see Tsimikas in the league games until he fucks up. Until he doesn't have a world-class performance and whatnot. But while he's got the momentum, while he's got the force, 7 wins, 7 games, 7 wins and 7 clean sheets, I'd go with Tsimikas in the league games where we need the points, not in a game that isn't as important. Plus, Robbo needs minutes. Let's do it in a game with not as much intensity. So I'm interested to see what the general chat would say. Robertson or Tsimikas for this game against Porto. I'll be interested to see, as well as put that in the comments down below.
I agree with you on that, though. I agree with you in the fact that for me, the first choice left back right now is Costas. I want to see him playing until he fucks up. The same with Matip. I don't want to see Konate until Matip is injured. I don't want him to be. You know what I'm saying? But that should be the case. I love Robertson, but the man has 4 or whatever years he's played nearly every single game for club and country. His body's just he hasn't been performing at his usual standard this season, and I think there's no shame in saying that. And there's nothing wrong with dropping him for a couple of games and letting him regain his form. So for me, Costas. But see, I want to see Costas in the league and the Champions League just to give him the more rhythm. But then again, maybe you don't want to risk him in the game that you don't have to win.
The Anfield agenda community has surprised me here, Paddy. They've all gone with Costas. They've all gone with Costas. I genuinely...
I don't know. Either way, they're both 2 good left backs, so whoever plays, it's going to be alright, you know what I mean?
Someone said start them both. I don't know how you do that, but fine. Fine. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure Tsimikas could be a great left winger for sure. Do you know what? I can understand the logic, because I'm sure Costas is eligible to play 3 games a week. He doesn't seem to be someone who's too injury prone, even though he didn't play too much in his first season. But still, that being said, I think a run of games is what's good for Costas, so I'm not upset to see him play.
I mean, if Liverpool signed him, he must be injury prone somewhere along the line, let's be honest. We love an injury prone player.
Tell me about it. So Klopp was talking about the rotation and whether he will rotate in this squad, and he said this in his press conference: we always respect the competition, but we have to think about the players and our schedule first. Paddy, that's music to my ears, because I believe that means he's going to make a couple of changes, my mate. And Jurgen Klopp in the past, Diogo Jota against Midtjylland is one that sticks to mind. He played him for too long in that game. He was arguably our most informed attacker at that point, and then what happens? He goes ahead, gets injured for 3 months, and then you see a lot of goals between December and March just disappear because we didn't have that extra option. This season, we've had Salah with however many goals in all competition, like 17 or something. Mane's had like 8 goals. Firmino's had like 6 goals. But then this is why I can be quietly confident about the January period when Mane and Salah leave. Origi's there with 3 goals. Minamino's got like 4 goals. Jota's got 5 goals. there's goals beneath the squad that can actually try and maybe replace them in the time being. I don't know if the players miss a little bit of December as well, but they're still going to be there for the start of December. So that's why, if you're asking me, and this is just, my sort of opinion, you have to make the changes. You have to give Origi a chance, because not only do I think the rotation is good for the fitness of the squad, but I actually think we can still win with the rotated players. Minamino scored with his first fucking touch against Arsenal. Give him a go.
No, I agree. You have to make the change, and I think we're gonna see wholesale changes. I think we're gonna see Kelleher in goal, Nico at right back, Costas left back, or whoever. Konate and Gomez.
That's the back four I want to see for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe Robbo for Shimaka's. Otherwise, that's
I think because Konate needs games, and poor Joe Gomez needs games. He's been cast at the side a little bit, but that's just the nature of the competition we have now. You're going to have a front three of Minamino, Origi. The left is still a bit up for... Maybe we try the Nico Williams thing on the left, and then Conor Bradley maybe at right back? Possibly, who knows? The midfield is still up in the air.
I like Conor Bradley. But I'd rather start Nico at right back and then just use the two great left backs that you've got. If Robertson's available, because you never know, he might not be.
Oh my God, you could play both of them.
A few weeks.
Robbo at left back, Costas as on the left wing. That could be mad. It's a bit out there.
You never know. You never know.
Jurgen
has got great creativity.
Yeah,
and
he's nimble. And I
don't know why he wouldn't be able to do a job.
That could be...
Yeah, he's good on the ball. His dribbling's good. Yeah, Villarreal have got a chance. Are they going to score a world-class goal? Nah, they missed. I thought we were going to get a nice little celebration against Manchester United. Villarreal have been dominating the game, just to give a little update, because that's been on while we've been doing the show. Villarreal have been doing great, so I believe they're probably going to nick it, unless Ronaldo just comes in with the last minute and just heads it in the back of the net. Literally classic Ronaldo. But that will be the end of the show. Before we do go, Paddy, I'm going to get your prediction for Porto. What are you saying, my mate? Are you confident?
Yes, but because it's going to be like a second string and Porto need a result, I think it's going to be a draw.
My man said but for Porto. I think we're going to absolutely bum them. I'm going to say maybe like 3-0 or something like that.
I feel sorry for Porto. We've given them an awful bumming over the years. Jesus Christ.
Nah, it has been a tough time for them. But also, get in the comments down below what you think the score will be. Make sure you smash a like if we haven't been too annoying and you enjoyed. That'd be great. Also, smash your subscribe to Anfield Agenda. Paddy, another great show, my mate. Really thoroughly enjoyed it. I wish, like I said, that we could have saw Manchester United getting battered in the background. But it is what it is. To be fair, Villarreal is still playing well, so I have faith. Anyway, smash a like, subscribe, and we will see you all in a bit. Peace out.